welcome to the deep dive. When you think about mathematics, maybe it just brings up uh, school, right? Numbers, formulas, things you maybe haven't touched in years.
Yeah, exactly. Textbooks and chalkboards.
But what if it's actually like fundamental, this language of everything, something connecting, well, your brain, how AI works, and even patterns in nature?
It's a really interesting way to frame it, and we've been digging into this article by Shiva Narayan Tekshila Page called Language of Everything, Mathematics and Brainpage, Artificial Intelligence and Nature.
Right. So our mission today really is to explore how this single language pops up in these, totally different areas, hopefully give you a new angle on intelligence, learning, the whole universe, maybe.
Let's jump in, starting with us, with our brains. Specifically, this idea mentioned in the article, brain page learning.
Okay, brain page learning, it's not just passive listening, right? The article describes it as more active. It's based on cognitive and motor science.
It focuses on engagement, like writing things down, rehearsing them, even using spatial learning, figuring things out in space.
And the connection to math. The article suggests math just naturally fits this active model.
It seems like our brains are kind of wired for it, Even really young kids, they just get patterns, like sequences, shapes.
You see that, yeah. Red block, blue block, red. They pick it up intuitively.
Exactly. That's sort of the bedrock. But then you get to arithmetic, algebra, things that are a bit more abstract.
Those are harder, right? The article says they need stronger motor and memory circuits in the brain.
Yeah, and that's where the motor science part comes in strong, actually writing out equations, drawing shapes.
So the physical act itself helps. It's not just about seeing it.
According to this brain page idea, yeah. The movement helps forge the neural pathways. It's like you're embodying the math, not just memorizing symbols. Think about using blocks for addition. Same principle.
Huh. And they also talk about neural circuit modulation. Through repetition, they call it cyclicide rehearsal and spatial stuff, like picturing it.
Right, doing it over and over, interacting with it spatially.
Yeah.
It builds fluency. So the big takeaway for brain page learning in math is it's not just memorization.
It's making it part of your actions almost, internalized.
Yeah.
Like learning, I don't know, a dance move until it's automatic.
Exactly, which kind of leads to the next piece, doesn't it? If our brains learn math this way, through patterns and active engagement, what about AI?
Artificial intelligence. Yeah, the article draws a really direct line there. It says artificial neural networks, ANNs, which are like the core of deep learning, they're built entirely on mathematical principles. It's not an analogy, it's literal.
It is pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. These complex AIs, they're running on math. The article gets specific about the tools.
Like what kind of math are we talking about?
Linear algebra is huge, handling all the input data, structuring it in matrices, basically organizing massive amounts of information.
Okay, makes sense. Organization.
Then there's calculus. Absolutely essential for optimizing how the network performs. Things like backpropagation, gradient descent.
Which sounds complicated, but it's basically the AI learning, adjusting itself.
Precisely. It's like it's constantly tweaking its own settings based on the results it gets, trying to get better. Calculus drives that optimization.
And probability and statistics, I assume, for making predictions.
Oh, absolutely. Making predictions, figuring out uncertainties, refining the output. It's all about finding patterns in data.
Which loops right back to how our brains work according to brain page learning, that pattern recognition thing.
Exactly. That's the connection the article really hammers home. The same fundamental math tools powering AI are deeply related to how we learn naturally. It really positions math as this shared language.
A shared language between us and the machines we're building.
Yeah.
Okay, so brain, check. AI, check. But the article pushes it further into nature.
Yeah, it argues that nature itself fundamentally operates according to mathematical laws. It's not just something we use to describe nature, it's inherent in nature.
How so? Like beyond just physics equations.
Well, think about patterns you can actually see. The article mentions the Fibonacci sequence. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8.
Right, where each number is the sum of the two before it.
You find that sequence in the arrangement of seeds in a sunflower head, the spirals on a pine cone, the branching of some trees.
Okay, wow. And fractals, too, those infinitely repeating patterns.
Coastlines have a fractal quality, clouds, snowflakes, even the way blood vessels branch in our bodies. It's geometry, but infinitely complex geometry.
And regular geometry, too, like in crystals.
Definitely. The precise angles and faces of crystals are pure geometry. And think about motion calculus describes the arc of a ball, the orbits of planets. Newton's laws are mathematical.
So it's describing the big stuff, like planets, and the small stuff, like crystals, even biology.
Yeah, statistics is crucial for understanding genetics, how traits are passed down, evolution. It's all underpinned by mathematical probabilities and distributions.
It feels like nature's communicating, but not in words.
That's the idea. It communicates through numbers, ratios, structures, equations. To understand nature deeply, the article implies you need to understand math. It's the language of the cosmos, in a way.
So let's pull this together. We have the human brain learning through this active, motor-involved Brainpage approach,
Yeah.
building neural codes.
Yep. Then we have AI, machines, learning and predicting using mathematical modeling, calculus, algebra.
And then we have the universe itself, showing order, chaos, beauty, all in ways we can describe with math.
It's a powerful convergence. It suggests that intelligence, whether it's ours, artificial, or just the underlying structure of reality, is fundamentally mathematical.
That's a big thought. And it has implications, right? The article touches on that.
For sure. Like education. Could we teach math differently using these brain page ideas? Make it more intuitive, more hands-on, less abstract?
Actually building things to understand geometry, maybe?
Potentially. And for AI developers, it underlines how crucial a deep grasp of the math is. Not just coding, but understanding the core principles for building reliable, ethical AI.
You need to speak the language fluently, not just parrot phrases.
Exactly. And maybe even for science and philosophy. Recognizing math as this common thread, this interface between mind, machine, and matter.
So, for everyone listening,
Yeah.
what's the takeaway? The article wraps up with this call to action. Unlock the language of everything.
Which sounds grand, but it's really an invitation to shift perspective. See math not just as schoolwork, but as part of how you think, how technology works, how the world is.
And Brainpage learning is presented as one way in, right? A way to make abstract concepts more concrete, more actionable in your own mind through doing.
So the practical steps. The article suggests things like actively try to build those brain page circuits through motor learning when tackling something new.
Like actually write stuff out, draw diagrams, engage physically.
Yeah. And try to understand the math behind the AI you hear about. And maybe just look for the mathematical patterns in nature more consciously.
Don't just learn math.
Live it, code it, see it in the world. Connect with the universe through its language. Experience it, as the article puts it, through brain page learning.
So wrapping up this deep dive, we've journeyed through these ideas from Shiva Narayan Texila Page's article, Language of Everything. We've seen how math seems to be this incredible thread connecting our own learning, AI, and nature itself.
It really ties together these seemingly separate domains in a fascinating way.
And it leaves us with something to chew on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If we really start to see this universal mathematical language, how does that change how we solve problems?
Or how we view technology. Or just perceive the world around us day to day.
Is math just a tool we invented, or is it something more fundamental, something woven into reality itself, just waiting for us to explore it more deeply?
The big question to ponder.
That was a look into the ideas presented in Language of Everything, Mathematics and Brainpage, Artificial Intelligence in Nature, by Shiva Narayan Texila Page.